You're watching New Kids on the Block, the only show on television that takes you from the usual talking heads to student leaders from all parties. It's been an eventful week where the government is celebrating Modi Fest to mark 3 years. And that gives us lots to talk about. Here's what we're debating first.
Arun Jaitley has clarified that the centre's new cattle rules had nothing to do with the state laws and were only meant to regulate the cattle market. Despite that, is it just a ban on beef via the back door?
So that's our first debate. These new cattle rules notified by the government, are they a proxy beef ban? Let's start with someone who is from the opposition. Sunny Dhiman, what do you think?
Like there's a word in the modern dictionary that escape goat. So now the BJP has introduced a new word, escape cow. During 1920s, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru with other Muslim leaders said that we want to reduce cow slaughter. So what they did, they say that this Eid there will not be no cow slaughter, and that happened. Almost 30,000 cow used to be slaughtered in Mumbai, but only 30 cow was slaughtered, and that was done by policemen to incite riots, and that is still happening in present day India. Whenever the government is losing, they will use the same word cow, cow and cow. I have an habit to eat beef. I will eat. Whatever your norms will be there. In southern part of India, in northeastern part of India, and various part of India, beef is a part of their common diet. But government want to create a debate around it because they are the same people who were standing with the Britishers during Indian national freedom movement, and they have learned this tactic. Whenever they want to create a new debate, and they don't want to discuss on the real issues like the jobs and other developmental issue, they will use the same debate because whatever they have done.
That's really going very way back to make your point over here.
It's a kind of
you made your
banning food habits of the people, and even the Vedic era Brahmins has eaten beef.
You represent the ABVP. The NSUI, the Congress, making a quite an elaborate point to say that you are using it just for mileage. The government is using it for mileage and actually wants to bring in a beef ban.
I think the whole issue is not about cow, what we are discussing here. It is about cattle, and cow is a part of cattle. This is regulation of cattle, slaughter of cattle. So what I feel is it must be regulated. There is lot of malpractices being done, and animals are treated like anything. There are a lot of violations happening, and this is something set by court rather than government. So as a responsible citizen of our country, we must respect our court. This is a decision of court, not government. So yes, I am totally in support of it, that yes, slaughtering must have rules, and how much animals are being slaughtered. And actually, the problem is when animals are bought and sold, the real farmer gets very less benefit. The mediators, the middlemen get all of the profit. So if we regulate it, if we know how much animals are being sold and how many are bought.
But farmers were actually reported by the things in various places, the cattle markets, farmers were suffering because they felt the economy was going down. How would you respond to that?
I mean, farmers are suffering because they are not getting the actual benefit they must get from the cattle they have reared.
I just want to add one point.
No, just a minute.
Oh, hang on.
The only thing is the middlemen are now in problem. And they are there to make people revolt against this.
Okay, Kamalpreet,
you cannot buy and sell. You cannot buy and sell any cattle.
You can buy and sell, but only by regulations. But only by regulations.
You made your point. She's responded. Let's get the other speakers in as well. Kamalpreet, you represent the left student organizations. This is the defense being given by the government, that this is nothing to do with that this is about getting rid of the malpractices in the sale of cattle. Is that a valid defense?
See, suddenly the government wants to regulate the cattle. I mean, first you have to go back to what the government has done with the dairy farmers. I mean, you see Pehlu Khan, he was a dairy farmer, he was lynched. You see, in Jharkhand, they were transporting cow. They were not slaughtering the cow. They were lynched, they were killed. And what were the response from the government side? I mean, Mukhtar Abbas Ansari, the minister, is saying, okay, it's a small issue. They are denying the issue. And many other leaders from the BJP, the Chhattisgarh BJP leader is saying, anybody who will touch the cow will be killed. I mean, this is the politics behind cow. It is not about regulating the market. And it has nothing to do with faith, because their own leader, Kiran Rijiju, he has said openly on TV, I eat beef. He was not lynched. Muslims are being targeted.
Yes.
Akhlaq. I mean, can you believe in our nation, the people who killed Akhlaq were draped in the national flag? I mean, can you believe it? Their own BJP leader, Sanjeet Som, in 2005, he had, he basically has declared that he runs a company named Al Dua. And what that Al Dua company is doing? The Al Dua company is actually in the market of, selling beef outside. I mean, this topic, this whole, creating this, the beef thing, it is about, killing Dalits, lynching Muslims. It has nothing to do with faith. It has nothing to do with, regulating it in the market.
That point you made,
one more point I want to make.
Yeah.
In Rajasthan, in the Hotel Rabani, I mean, these people, they went to that Hotel Rabani because the owner was Muslim.
Yes.
And what they did, they said that he is actually making beef inside. And after 1 month, the magistrate has declared कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ. So they are actually making the issue out of nothing.
Charu Pragya, how do you respond to Kamalpreet's allegation and point that if it was just about cattle sale rules, then why would there be so many assertions from BJP leaders saying that about beef?
So these two things, first of all, are completely unrelated. The notification which has come out is this movement was started by animal activists way back in 2012.
Exactly.
And the notification is a result of the directive given by the Honorable Supreme Court to our government. That's the first thing. Second of all, there is no beef ban. These guys are themselves saying there are leaders who are admitting to openly eating beef or
they're leaving BJP.
Being involved in meat trade. No, that's not the point.
But what about
in Meghalaya, they're leaving BJP
one
because...
Second, Sunny, I'll ask the questions over here. What about the reports from the fields of experts saying that it may not be a beef ban, but if you can't go and sell the cow...
No, the point here is,
or cattle
legally,
in the market,
I'm sure you're aware,
market,
agricultural land in India can only be held by agriculturists. What is the reason behind this law? The reason is the farmer must benefit. A similar thing is being brought into our system with regards to animals that are reared for agriculture, whether it is bovine, whether it is poultry.
Okay.
Everything is got under this regulation. Eventually, I know there are teething problems. I know people are protesting today, but eventually the farmer will benefit.
Eventually the farmer will benefit. Vinod, you represent BAPSA.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that?
Hey, first of all, I would like to say, present government has failed to understand that difference between 2G. First is good governance and second is Gaurakchak. They are equating Gauracha with the good governance. So, first of all, I would like to say, I don't know these people have cattle or not, but people from my areas, they are suffering because of this ban and because of this atrocities by Gaurachaks and all. So, their fields have been destroyed by these becomeless animals, and they are very much suffering in their own areas, and they don't have this right to, they can sell their own cattle.
Quick response by you and then we'll take a question.
The only thing I'll say is that let's not make a conscious effort to hurt someone's feelings. By killing cow in public, I mean, you, Sunny Diman, your party had this sign of cow and the calf.
I know,
and
you will come here, but let me respond.
No, just a minute. You have said all kind of
Indian National Congress Vice President already said this is not acceptable. This is not the norm of Indian National Congress legacy. We do not do such kind of protests in public place.
The reason we have
this is not the way Indian National Congress has given us.
Because student leaders are different. We don't argue like that. Yes, what's your question?
An animal is so holy that if it becomes unproductive, we can't even sell it. Why should our farmers pay for those white elephants?
I want to answer this.
So do you want to respond to this?
Of course. So farmers are paying for the so-called white elephant, not just because of its milk. If you actually look at agricultural records of pilot projects which have been set up all over our country, in fact all over the world.
But he's talking about once they've stopped giving milk.
I'm getting to that. A cow dung is useful in a lot of ways.
But how will that cow eat?
The people to keep cows. I mean, if they're so much in love with cows.
Buffalo.
If the cow is unproductive,
Unproductive doesn't mean the cow does not eat.
It has to be eaten. What will it eat? What will it eat?
The unproductive cow must be slaughtered
No,
and eaten.
no, it's not slaughter. It is the farmer who gives the cattle to the trade system. Simply.
No, but not
so
to the.
what
not
I
to
know
the trader.
that
No,
I
cow
have.
is to be sold directly
I
to
had
the
my cow
slaughterhouse.
10 years back, and I know what is rearing cow. And I know BJP people, they don't do, they never have cow with them. You are only politics. You only do politics. You only do
One second,
politics.
Sunny Dhiman, 1 second. Yeah, what's your
I
question?
have a condition. For instance, if a farmer is not able to survive on his own, and because of unseasonal rains and droughts, and he has to sell his cow or a buffalo, and because of these rules, he's not able to sell.
He sells directly to the
प्रेमचंद की
slaughterhouse.
कहानी
He
है
makes a
हीरा और
lot more
मोती।
money.
But according
प्रेमचंद की कहानी है हीरा और मोती। Let me.
According to the recent data,
4,000 किसान सुसाइड से महाराष्ट्र में
yeah,
कर
I'm
चुके
coming to the
हैं।
same point. According to the recent data,
What I'm saying, this ban is nothing, just giving this power to this militias in the form of Gaurachak who are killing the Dalits, Muslims and others, these deprived sections of the people.
Okay, so
I want to add 2 points.
Last point, yeah.
सबसे पहले तो if they are so much keen on regulating the cows, they must visit the shelter homes of cows.
I come from a village.
I'm not asking where you come from.
No,
I'm just
I'm
making
telling
a point,
you,
and you have to listen to
this.
that point. There have been 162 deaths in the cow shelter home, so-called cow shelter home, that is being run by the BJP member. So you have to see where you stand. Second point, you're only regulating cattle, and you're trying to regulate the cattle right now.
Everything is covered in this. Poultry is covered. Breeding of dogs is covered.
Right now, they're trying to cover the cattle only because they want to
Why not vegetable market then? Why not? Let's begin it. It is mere politics. You don't want to improve any conditions.
This debate, which will continue over the next few days, as many state governments say that it is infringing on federalism and the idea of it.
There is one Hindu sect called Laghori. They eat everything. They eat meat of everything, and they are Hindus. They are Shaivites. Do they know?
It's time, of course, to look at the second debate as well. Take a look.
The government has rubbished the impact of the note ban on the economy, calling the latest GDP growth figures very reasonable. Were former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's predictions right, after all?
So that's what the big story of this week has been about. The new GDP numbers and what it shows. Now, Jahnavi, everybody is saying this proves that Dr. Manmohan Singh was right, even though at that time when the last quarters came out, there were many who mocked him. What would you say about that?
I think if we say in this last quarter which we are talking about, it is 6.1. It is not that low that we have to think about it.
But wasn't it? Didn't he say 2%?
If we see the full year's fiscal rate, it is 7.1 to 7. It is ranging behind this, and
that's also fallen by 1%.
Yeah, it is fallen by 1%. But we are talking only the last quarter. If we see the whole year, it is not as bad as 6.1. It is 7.1 to 7. It was fluctuating between that. But the thing is, our FDI is increased. Our foreign investments are increasing. Our CPI is not going into double digits anymore. So we cannot say that everything is going wrong. In spite of having demonetization, in spite of having demonetizations, we are doing fairly well.
Sure. But my question to you was that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh only spoke about the GDP numbers, and he gave a very specific point that 2% will be impacted because of demonetization. This was mocked by the government, right? And the spokespersons, everyone. So in the end, do you think, because it looks exactly that, 2% less,
no,
because in the
2%.
last quarter, we're talking about the last quarter of this year, that concurrent year, last year, it was 8%, it's now gone down by 2%.
But if you see the condition of all other countries, we are the second highest GDP country. I mean, ahead us, it is only China.
Okay.
In spite of having demonetization, we are the second highest GDP country. So I don't think so it is that high impact.
Okay, Sunny Dhiman, yeah.
My point is, like, there's a saying in Sanskrit, like, Satyam Ki Pramanam. So the truth is here. Dr. Manmohan Singh said it is an organized loot. It was. He said that it was. There will be a drop in 2% GDP. Yes, it was. But let's go beyond the number. Let's go beyond numbers.
Whole world? Really, it affected the whole world?
Unorganized sector.
Except China?
Unorganized sector, which my father belonged. My whole 80% of India belong. They are suffering. The Modi said we will produce 2 crore jobs in 1 year. What he has done,
What you have done in 70 years?
He has
What have you done in
ended
70
so
years,
many
sir?
employment opportunities for the people.
Okay, you
and
made
now
that point.
it is
Please
shameless
talk
that
about
we.
GDP.
No,
Talk
I have sympathy with the Arun Jaitley
Charu.
ji, because what they have done, he said there are so many other reasons for this 2% low. Yes, it was Jumla, it was the
Do you have
fakeness
any
and the
issues of
propaganda
GDP?
done
Can
by
you talk in
Narendra
terms?
Modi.
Can you talk in terms
Yes,
about
I'm
GDP?
talking in terms.
About
Sunny, you made your point. Janvi, you made your point. Charu, do you think that perhaps the other thing that came in with that entire GDP debate was also to talk about, to mock, you know, the kind of foreign degrees and all by
Harvard
saying it's
versus-
Harvard versus hard work.
Hard work.
Do you think in
Where's
the end
hard work?
perhaps, you know, mocking the former Prime Minister with his foreign degrees was a wrong call? It looks like the wrong call
Who
now
doesn't
because he
have his
got
own
it
degree?
right.
First of all, we are a developing country. We are not an already developed country. We will have teething problems in moving to a digital India, which is what we are trying to do.
Cashless,
We are
less
trying to
cash.
eliminate cash from the market as much as possible. It is good for everyone in
black money?
society. Yes, definitely.
Where's black money?
Black money has been
Let her
deposited back.
speak,
Give
please,
me my turn
Sunny.
and be
Yeah.
respectful
Yes,
instead
please,
of laughing
please
when other
continue,
analysts are
continue.
talking.
Yeah,
Seriously,
go ahead.
have
Black-
some sense.
Yes,
Yes,
please,
I'm
please
finding him
continue.
highly
Sunny, 1 second,
disrespectful.
yeah.
Okay, the first thing was black money. Second thing was proper regulation of the money which is already in the market,
Yeah.
so that hoarding goes down. If you look at the number of transactions made by credit cards and debit cards, they have gone up from around 50,000 crore to
farmers.
80,000 crores. Another thing that has happened is that digital wallet transactions have doubled in the last 3
Sure,
months.
I'm just talking about the GDP numbers.
Yes, I'm
will not
talking.
talk.
I'm getting to that. So GDP is at an all-time low globally, and GDP started dropping in the second quarter. There was no demonetization.
No, but I
in the
asked you
second quarter.
specifically about that Harvard versus hard work thing. In retrospect, does it look like a wrong thing to have said?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because that was a statement made. That was a statement made at a point of time when the former Prime Minister is jumping to conclusions. This is a temporary phase. Give it time.
Conclusion is there.
Give it time.
Okay, you have a question.
Can
for
I
him?
answer? Can I answer that?
Yeah, okay, yeah. very
देखिए
good.
6.9% ग्रोथ यूपीए गवर्नमेंट में, जब यूपीए गवर्नमेंट का टर्म खत्म हुआ था तब था, और अभी 6.1 है. एंड coming of Narendra Modi government, the whole rhetoric that he produced was that I'll create jobs,
Yes.
that I'll create growth, I'll create more facilities, I'll open up the economy and everything. But we have right now the condition, this might be because of demonetization, this might not be because of demonetization, but here right now we are standing at, and we are facing, our country is facing jobless growth, our country is facing all-time low employment in organized sector, and even the whole rhetoric of, you know, make in India, we are not seeing any investment, foreign
Okay.
investment. The foreign investment is only in the form of acquisition that is being made by the
Okay.
foreign, you know, companies
Vinod, I know
currently.
you have, let's just get in that question as well. Yeah, what did you want to say?
Sir, the PTI reported last year that 20% of the GDP is from black money. So don't you think that this is the reason why GDP has decreased? Because after demonetization, there has been a decrease in black money. So don't you think it's
Whoa.
because of that?
Because it's a show, we cannot explain here. What I can suggest you can go and read Arun Kumar. He's
No,
a
I want to
professor.
answer this
He's a
question.
professor in Jawaharlal University, and he's not a communist, not a congressman.
No,
He
I'm
will
basically-
tell you.
So you know
what-
you can
no,
differentiate
please,
between
please,
communist
please.
professors.
Let him
No,
complete.
because you'll say it's Congress or Congress
I'm not
or
saying that,
Congress,
you are saying.
communist person.
Let's
So
not
in
digress.
in short, black money has not been revealed. There is no benefit. Almost 2,000 crore has been spent, lost during this system,
Okay, yeah.
and more than 200 lives.
Okay,
More
let
than 200
Vinod
lives.
have a say.
What I'm
Let's-
saying is,
yeah, please, yeah.
this is the utter failure of this government. Ki they promise ki they will produce 2 crore job per year, but they fail to, even they fail to produce more than 1 lakh
1 lakh
jobs
jobs
in 1
per year.
year. And second thing, like it is related to your GDP. GDP has declined 1.3%.
But Vinod, don't you think when the finance minister says there are also global reasons for the GDP being less, that he has a point? Why is it that we're all, that, you know, all of the opposition is not willing to accept that?
No,
The point
first,
is
you
that-
have to understand the regional and domestic problems. Why, if you are much more focusing on this Gauraksha and Love Jihad and baseless things, so you have given a lot of policies and plans.
Okay.
Look,
But
global
policies
slowdown-
and plans,
Let's
come and breathe,
they
okay.
are not implemented properly.
Okay, the
Like,
point is
let me
that-
tell you
They are
one
doing
thing.
the
I
time
have
for
an
the simple
example
point
of
is
one.
that this government is only giving you the names. They gave you the name of Digital India, they gave you the name of Make in India, they gave you the name of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and many more Abhiyans. But if you go and if you see what have you got from them, if you see what have you got from demonetization, it's utter failure. I mean, you are just taxing you're telling your own people to stand in the lines, and after that, you're not getting the black money back. You're only getting the same amount of money back that was there in the economy. And this is the government statistics. This is not something that
there is some data that
needs to be discussed here. It is the government data which is showing that in the informal economy,
many sections of media as well as intellectuals have tried to put emphasis on this, that demonetizations have failed. It was an utter failure, as she responded. But the only thing is, in a country as huge as this, none of the places we can report that riots happened. No. People stand in queue everywhere.
I have got
what happened. Right should not happen.
This is what happened. This is what happened by the demonetization. More than 4 crore people have lost their jobs.
You want riots to happen.
People have.
This is your politics.
People have no problem standing in queue.
You came openly with riots.
No problem. We are talking about the economy and the GDP numbers and not about law and order.
Law and order.
Okay.
The global slowdown was also there during the time of Manmohan Singh also. Global slowdown was also there.
1 second, calm down.
We needed this demonetization.
Let me put some data, like because of demonetization, more than 4 crore people have lost their job. And they came with this campaign against corruption. Like if you see this corruption perception index, India is now on 79 numbers. Earlier it was 76. So now they failed to.
So this is the perfect cue to bring us to our last question. It's been 3 years. What is the big takeaway for our student leaders of the last 3 years of government? What for you, Jahnavi, as of the ABVP, what for you is the best thing that the government's done?
I think it is minimum government and maximum governance, skill development, I'll say. I am not going into each and everything, but I'll just say
minimum government. Can you tell us, and for you, an example of that?
Yeah, like in this government there are 23 cabinet ministers. In the last one there were 71.
Good point.
So it is a huge thing, huge difference.
Okay, good
The other thing is that I'll just talk about vision and intentions. You cannot find them in 3
that's
years.
a good point. Next
But
one.
the only thing I want to say is higher education is still very much neglected, and this thing must be taken into notice.
Good point. Yes, Sunny, for you, the big takeaway.
All I have to say is just jumlas. अधर्म हुआ है, लिंचिंग पब्लिकली होने लगी है, डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद से जो हुआ है, जॉब्स जा रही हैं, एजुकेशन कट रही है, जेएनयू से 1000 सीट कटी है, एक यूनिवर्सिटी से एक लड़का नजीब को उठाए हुए 7 महीने हो चुके हैं, एबीपी के लोगों के मारपीट के बाद उठाया, उसके कोई ट्रेस नहीं है. This is where we are moving around. This government is hopeless government.
That's the takeaway for you. For you,
I want to say 2 quick things. First of all, destruction is quick, like this. Construction takes time. Give it time. 60 years of destruction. Give us 6 years. 6
we
years.
have given you so much things. We have given you so many things. IT, IIM.
Sunny, let her speak.
Thank you very much. The second thing is, we have had a government which has been corruption free, which has been scam free, which has been progressive.
Yes.
Give us some credit for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There is Lokpal.
Kamalpreet, for you, the big takeaway?
See, basically, I want to talk about statistics right now because I feel that they will, these statistics are from Labour Ministry, not my own creation. So 50% reduction in jobs in organized sector. Amit Shah has quoted recently when he was asked in an interview, he said, okay, we cannot create jobs for 1.25 crore people in India. So they have to, create jobs for themselves. So no jobs in organized sector. Second, farmers. You see what is happening with farmers. OROP to nahi diya. Uske baad farmers में 1.4% अभी तक farmer का agriculture growth नहीं हुआ, मतलब सिर्फ 1.4% एग्रीकल्चरल ग्रोथ हुआ है, एंड मोदी गवर्नमेंट इन 2014 सेट 20% ग्रोथ होगा, नहीं हुआ. दूसरी पॉइंट, universities. You come to university, my own university. I mean, it's such a dreadful thing to go back to your own university, because anybody who is talking not, in line with the narrow viewpoint of ABVP or RSS, they will be attacked. Dissent culture has ended. And one more thing that I want to say
very quickly.
The last point, mob culture. You see, mob cultures have increased. Lynchings have increased. Dalits are being attacked in Una and right now in Saharanpur.
Okay, Vinod, what's the big takeaway for you?
Yeah, I would like to say that this government should know that country can govern by this not man ki baat, but the expertise and with this foresights.
Right. Okay. Anyone want to agree, disagree?
Why BJP always need protests to implement any law and policies? We have very biggest example is one rank, one pension. What was happening that we all know.
Charu, do you want to take that? Being part of you were okay, or Jahnavi, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One rank, one pension. This situation was raised by Indira Gandhi. She did a huge cut in the fund of army men pension, and this problem has persisted from then on. Even after independence, this problem has. Just a minute. This question is for me, Sunny. Do you know your name?
Okay, go ahead.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
Mine is
please.
Janvi.
Okay, Janvi,
So,
please continue.
this OROP problem has been persisted from then on. Government has been, requested a lot of times to correct it on. This government has tried its level best to bring in OROP. So
Okay.
it's not like
One
it
soldier
just
committed
Okay,
suicide
last
at
question,
Jantar
yeah.
Mantar. Do
What's
you
your-
remember?
His question, yeah.
The soldiers are still protesting at Jantar Mantar.
Okay, let's take
One
another
has
audience question.
committed
You
suicide
have
at Jantar
1
Mantar.
second, yeah, go ahead.
In the starting, you told that this whole beef ban thing is governed by the law and it has been a statement by the court. So, and it is against the animal cruelty thing.
Yeah.
So, when it was about Jallikattu festival, ABVP
They
was the
just
mass
do the
protester.
same again.
And that was also issued by the High Court, and ABVP was the mass protester against the
Yeah.
law.
Do you want to respond?
Actually, Article 48 says that we must have regulations with the animal slaughter. This is into Article
It's not
48.
must have.
It
Should
is must.
be.
It's directive
Should be.
principle,
It's
not
directive
the
principle.
necessary.
So you mean,
It's
so you
directive
mean
principle.
animals have no right?
There
Are
are
you
many
saying
things
that?
in directive
The same
principles
directive
that
principle
your
says
government
the
never will
education for
implement.
all, jobs for all. Why are you not focusing on that? Just only animals. No, why not humans?
Is this being
You're
done by
ignoring
government?
humans.
Do you know
Just
that
animals.
One other question, one other question, yeah.
you killing people
Go
in the
ahead.
name of
1
cow?
minute. Okay.
As you said, sir, that cow slaughter is simply a political matter. They are trying to trying to mobilize
Escape
the
cow.
people, by raising the issue of cow. Sir, I want to tell you, the cow issue is 1,000 or thousands years old since the Hindu civilization is pursuing. From that time, this issue is there. और cow हिंदू धर्म की sacred है, ये तो सभी जानते हैं. फिर सर
let
इस
me
पे
respond,
विवाद
let me
क्या आ
respond.
जाता है?
Okay, very quickly. We have to
It's
wrap
very
now.
quick, very
before we
quick.
are
What
out
I'll
of
say,
time.
what I'll
Please,
suggest
please,
you.
please.
विवेकानंद अपनी किताब में बोलते हैं कि ब्राह्मण वैदिक एरा में गाय खाते थे. वेदों में लिखा हुआ है गाय के खाने का. Second, अघोरी सेक्ट में वापस कोट करता हूँ, जाके पढ़िएगा. शेवाइट है,
अरे
मेरे नाना ही शेवाइट है.
ऋग्वेदा में
गाय सब कुछ खाते हैं.
ऋग्वेदा में एम्पल एविडेंसेस है ऐसे जहाँ पर ये है कि गौ मेधा अश्वमेधा
मानता है.
let him की religious feeling
Vinod,
की कोई कीमत
सबकी
नहीं है।
मेरी रिस्पेक्ट करो. मैं
ये
खाता हूँ,
कंस्ट्रक्टेड
मुझे
है, ये
respect दो.
कंस्ट्रक्ट किया गया है, ये सिर्फ अभी मॉडर्न
आप
कंस्ट्रक्शन है.
publicly
केरला
cow
में
नहीं kill
केरला
कर
में
सकते।
हिंदू
Okay,
खाते
are
हैं.
legally wrong.
केरला में
Legally
हिंदू
wrong.
खाते हैं. नॉर्थ ईस्ट में
आप
हिंदू
it
खाते हैं.
seems
At the end of it, the 3 years have led to a lot of debate, not just amidst our panelists, but also the audience members. So that's it. Of course, the 3-year celebration and the marking of it by the government will continue, and perhaps the debate also continues about whether they've been a success or not. That's it on the show. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week. Join us then. Goodbye. Thank you.